PRX.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and friends beyond the binary, it's time for me to cast out the pod that reels in your dreams. It's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And let's get on with the show, and thank you all for your kindness. All right, everybody, it is time to talk about sleep phones, the most comfortable way to listen to Sleep With Me. They're little speakers or earbuds. They don't have earbuds poking you in your ears. They're these flat felt things in a soft, stretchy headband. So comfortable, way more comfortable than I am at describing their comfort. And you could get one with the Sleep With Me logo, Sleep With My Boyfriend, tons of other cool things. Sleep With Me branded sleep phones. The only place you can get them is by using our link. You have to use this link, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones. And then if you sleep with me at checkout, you'll get $5 off your order. So you'll support the show and you'll be listening to it in comfort. They have 3 different versions, or 4 different versions now, one with corded and a bunch of wireless versions. So anyway, you listen to Sleep With Me. I also use it for running, on planes, hotel rooms. Unbelievably comfortable. Sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones and use our promo code Sleep With Me at checkout for $5 off. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones. Thanks, everybody. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive. Are you thinking more about how to tighten up your budget these days? Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save over $700 on average, and customers can qualify for an average of 6 discounts when they sign up. A little off your rate each month goes a long way. Get a quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2020 and May 2021. Potential savings will vary. Discounts vary and are not available in all states and situations. All right, everybody, it is time to talk about tonight's sponsor, BetterHelp. Sleep With Me podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. BetterHelp wants to tackle some of the stigmas around mental health. You might think that therapy is for other people, but utilizing therapy doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means you recognize that all of us, all human beings have emotions, and we need to learn to understand them, not avoid them. You know, some people might think that you have to wait until things are really, really tough, almost unbearable to try therapy, but that isn't true. Therapy is a tool to utilize before things get bad, and it can help you avoid those lows. I use therapy on a weekly basis. It's a huge part of my self-care, my well-being, and how I can have my relationships with other people in all aspects of my life flourish. I get those tools I need to make my life manageable before I hit a road bump or a pothole. Because of therapy, I'm ready when that happens. And BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy, and Sleep With Me listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/sleepwithme. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it is time for the Sleepy Supporter Zone, the most important part of the podcast, so I can keep it free for everybody wherever they need it, whenever they need it. Over 450 episodes in the archives, and it really is the listeners who support the sponsors and raise their support by spreading the word of letting the sponsor know about it that really enable us to do that. And I want to thank Jay, or the real J Ray, for supporting Helix. Got a Helix mattress, and they let Helix know about it on Twitter, and I really, really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without listeners like Jay or J Ray. So if you support a sponsor, let them know about it. Let me know about it. Tag them on social media. Send them a letter. Give them a call. Send an email. Let me know about it at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsor so I can thank you here on the Sleepy Supporter Zone. The second part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone is you getting the support you need. There's links to resources in the show notes right now. If you're in need right now, including international resources that you could contact right now in this moment, please use those resources. resources. And it's also about supporting our communities with our action, saying Black Lives Matter, saying stop AAP, I hate, saying, hey, let's be part of positive change. So there's links to resources where you can learn more and take action right in our show notes. And speaking of supporting members of communities I'm a part of the Sleep Podcaster community. So I want to let you know about Sleep Whispers, a podcast made by my friend Harris, sleepwhispers.com, or wherever you consume your podcast. And Sleep Whispers is a podcast of whispered readings and ramblings for relaxation and sleeping, made by an amazing, amazing person. You can enjoy calming moments, soothing meditations, stories, poems, Wikipedia articles, listener feedback, and trivia. When I'm recording this, Trivia Time just came out. Those are ones if you love trivia and you love falling asleep to whispers, check out Sleep Whispers podcast. There's tons of more stuff, but you got to check this one out. 30 new curious facts, 285 Trivia Time. Check it out in your podcast app of choice. That's Sleep Whispers, and that is the end of the Sleepy Supporter Zone. Oh, Mr. Bard, a lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
This posty poster son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes too. Carl W. the legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the mystery bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Hannah like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. I'm at Dear Scooter on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you can find me. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? That's Dearest Scooter with a T, because I know there's somebody Dearest Scooter, and they get all so Dearest Scooter, thanks. All right, everybody, coming up here is a fan favorite episode for Valentine's Day. I think I actually came out in August or something, or April. One of those months that starts with an A. I still don't know if Valentine's Day is on the 12th or the 14th. I never know that. I don't think I talked about that, but I've talked about it before. Not a problem for me right now. But I don't know. This episode came out in 2016, I think. And I don't know. I re-listened to it a couple times before I decided on it. It's still, this is one of those ones where it's like, this actually is one of Scoots' ideas that I say, how did this not happen? Because we still use Venmo. And a lot of the points I made in the show make perfect sense. And I'm still waiting for the platform so I can get Datemo going, or Datemoi. But I don't know. This is one of those ones I got a lot of feedback about. It's a little bit seasonal, and I'm trying to hit some seasonal points with a little bit better planning. And also this, next week, it'll be a long weekend. So I thought it was perfect timing. So yeah, enjoy this one. It's a blast from the past. If you really enjoy old episodes in this style, or even the earlier kind of iterations of Sleep With Me, you want the whole catalog as it changes. The show's always evolving and devolving. $10 and $20 patrons do get access all the way back to episode 2. But because of the people that support the sponsors as well, we've been able to add all that. I think we got, 450 or something, and that goes pretty far back. So yeah, enjoy. I forgot what this one was called. I guess I probably will change the title because it's like Datemo, Datemoi, and something else. So here's Scoots with an intro, right? And then we'll have the episode. Thanks, everybody. All right, hey, you have all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble with getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that's here to put you to sleep. We do it a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. And what I'm going to do is create a safe place. Or sometimes if I misspeak, that was unintentional. When I misspeak, sometimes I call it a save place. I guess that sounds a little bit corporate, though. Come on down to Save Place, where you save every day. Well, I guess no, it would have to be a change in our cultural acceptance of what's marketable. What happened to Scoots? He went into business. Yeah, he went into business. He said he was going to put those dollar. You know, he started. It was misguided. He started a business because he was going up against the. He called it the dollar store monopoly, and then we tried to explain it to him, but then he bended the ears of a couple sleepless angel investors. That was the end of the and then he started Save Place. And was he charging 98 cents? No. He just wanted to do the commercials, like video style. Come on down to Save Place where you save and you save. And if you need to shave, and it didn't work out. Anyway, sorry, just in case anybody's new here, be forewarned, I do go on sudden tangents, but I create a safe place. That's the whole idea of this podcast, where you could set aside whatever's keeping you up at night, whether it's thinking, feeling, physical feelings or emotions, something's stirred up, you're going through a tough time, there's a change in your schedule, it's just a habitual thing. Like a lot of people just integrate this podcast. It's a part of their nighttime routine. Sometimes people do use it to take their mind off stuff during the day. Some people just use it once or twice, just when they get on a plane or something like that, or when they travel, whatever it is, whatever the circumstances, could be something totally different than what I listed. I'm going to try to distract you from whatever it is that's keeping you up. And what I'm going to do is send my voice here in my intention to put you to sleep across the night, the deep dark night, as I call it. The DDN, deep dark night, as some listeners have started to shorthand it. And we use, lulling, soothing tones, pointless meanders. Word smushing. That's the thing. I've smushed that into its own word smushing. It's a bit like mumbling, but almost like, I guess, this is a visual thing, but sometimes that's what comes out of my mouth is like overlapping, like words with overlapping letters. I mean, that pretty much describe how I speak mostly. You see, he's a mumbler. No. My letters, sometimes they overlap. If you could see me speaking visually, I don't know if it would necessarily make any more sense, but you'd say, oh, no, the letters are just overlapped. He's not mumbling. And then you say, well, also, how are you misspelling words you're speaking, Scooter? And I say, what? So I do word smushing, overlapping. I guess that's what word smushing is, because you can't really say overlapping letters. That's just a mouthful, Word smushing. Are you with me? This is a little bit of you don't have to interact with this podcast, but just go ahead, take some words, we'll smush them a little bit, nothing, nicely, because these words, they're because words are born out of the mind, I believe, as a nonce, as someone that has no background in anything, they retain the plasticity of the brain. So you can smush them a little bit. Go ahead. If it actually feels pretty good with your hands there, go. We're just doing a little word smushing. Now, don't let these freaking therapeutic cartoon coloring barons get a hold of this. Because this is, if anybody's going to make money on word smushing, it'd be, therapeutic word smushing. We could just do that together on this podcast. This is what this podcast is anyway, but let's do a little more of it. It feels good. I don't know why this feels good to me. I hope it's good for you. Because this is about as good as it gets. Say, well, word smush. Yeah. I don't know. What do you got? What's everyone smushing? A 6 or 7 letter word? That's what I got. It looks like I'm actually smushing mumbles together, believe it or not. I think there's a couple extra M's in there. So it definitely came out of my brain, stumbled out of my brain, mumbles. But that's one of the techniques I use to take your mind off stuff, because the theory goes that you can't think about 2 things at once. And I'm always willing to, I'm willing to be, to test that out and say, hey, well, what if I do a little talking like this? I'll use a nice little voice, keep it slow, I try to keep it. You see, it's a decent rhythm, for some people. I try to make this feel like a friendly, welcoming place because I'm glad you're here. I usually say that towards the end, but I'll tell you right now, like towards the middle, because they think I've already been rambling for 6 or 7. I'm glad you're here. I hope I can help you fall asleep. That's how I close out the intro. And the reason I'm glad you're here, and the biggest reason I do the podcast is because I can relate. I don't know exactly what's keeping you awake at night. And I don't have all the answers. And as I said, I have no expertise. Now I'm accumulating some experience in using lulling, soothing tones or creaky, dulcet tones, if you want to be, accurate. And, I don't know if you could call anything in this podcast cutting edge. There you go. But this is a holy accidental irony. That's another thing this podcast contains. But I would dare to say that word mushing, I don't know if mashing's a little too far, but that could be cutting edge, in my opinion, since I'm the one doing it. And but you say, well, okay, cutting edge how? Well, okay, you're right. It's edge of the bed. Maybe we're not cutting edge, but we're cutting toward, I don't know. Why some brain? I just had a freaking press conference, part of my brain that turned on. And it said specifically, how is the topic of how is word smushing cutting edge? And this all happened in a microsecond. Now I'm just breaking it down for you, but that was what I said. You say cutting edge. And then I said another part of my brain, the one that's good on the package, said, think of something witty. And then another part of my brain that helpful said, just keep talking. Maybe something witty will come out. And then another part of me was like, Ian, if something witty doesn't come out, like at least you say, just keep going. And try to use your creaky dulcets. But I think I was saying I can relate before I got, also, I guess maybe this could be a side effect. Again, I'm not saying not of the podcast, but of creating the podcast. I may have it could be brain effects from all the word smushing I'm doing. You see, his gray matter's a little bit, this looks more like mashed potatoes than like fat spaghetti or whatever the heck, your brain's supposed to look like. Anyway, I was saying I can relate because I've been there in the deep, dark nights. I've been there tossing, I've been there turning. And, I don't want to start down the road, but I've dealt with that agony. And if I can take your mind off of it, if I can distract you, and ideally, if I could put you to sleep at some point, you drift off to sleep. Actually, I'm not putting you to sleep. I'm just kind of like, I'm just like this. Again, this is a good metaphor for the podcast. It comes up a lot in different ways, but a Sunday drive. I'm just the stuff going by in the outside the window of the car. If there was like some sort of, if in a Disney-esque fashion, there was also like a bird narrate, that could somehow stay on the roof of your car and narrate in a way that you say, well, it's kind of looking, when you're kind of looking out the window, you're like, well, it's not bad. And that's when, when you're drifting off, you say, well, there's a barn. Oh boy, that's a barn. Once was a red barn. Now what would you call it? It's got those boards and it's got the cross, thing, where it's a square with a cross and it's got that, it's like a dome, but I never heard of dome, barn dome. That's the podcast. I mean, the podcast was slightly more entertaining. That didn't really sound like a bird either. But the whole idea is let me posit this question as I like to do every once in a while. Were you thinking about any of that stuff for the last 3 or 4 or 5 minutes? Or were you smushing some words? Or mush, mush them, mash them, pash them, mush them, mash them, pash them around. Word smush. So, and I'm a little bit mildly amusing. It's the whole idea. Say, well, I kind of giggle a little bit, or something. It's like a light giggling, like a spritzer. I think I use spritzer, a spritz of giggles. And, that's what I'll do. I'll just do a little giggle spritz. Maybe I'll put that one. I don't have a notebook on me this second. So if someone can remind me to say, could I figure out if I could put a giggle spritz in my sleepy time toolbox? And get a little container of giggle spritz, less than an ounce or whatever, so I can take it on a plane. To talk about a place that could use a little giggle spritz as a freaking plane. Holy moly. But anyway, whatever it is that's keeping you up at night, I don't want to take your mind off it. I'm going to use these lulling, soothing tones, these pointless meanders. I'll tell you a bedtime story here coming up in a few minutes. But it'll be like this. I'll take a couple tangents, a couple bends. And the whole idea is you say, geez, you can listen, but you don't need to listen. You won't be riveted, but maybe part of you will be partially engaged, Like when I guess I can't, I've been unable to learn how to use a manual transmission. But something like when the clutch thing, but when you're not engaged, it's not engaged or something. I don't know if this podcast is like riding the clutch. Riding the clutch. That's what this podcast is. You say it's riding the clutch. Why do you call it a clutch? Well, he's over word smushed for sure. However, is this podcast a lighthearted thing, and you're under no pressure to listen. You're also under no pressure to fall asleep. There's not a should here, like, oh, you should have been asleep by now, or this should work for you. It's kind of like this is a companion in the deep, dark night that you don't have to listen to. Like, I guess like I'm like a stuffed animal, a chattering stuffed animal. I never thought about myself like that, but I say, geez, I guess I could be a stuffed, like a plush animal. Or a stuffed animal, I'm filling that role in the auditory sense, but you don't have, also you don't need to snuggle me or any of that stuff. You say, just let me hit your tympanium or whatever. And, you listen. I'll be here for about an hour. Drift off when you feel like it. Now, if you're new here, takes a few times to get used to this podcast because you say, geez, this is strange. It's not, it's abnormal. But it's based on the theory, like a lot of people like to listen to something nice or someone like a friend to tell them a bedtime story. But you also don't want to be under an obligation that you should listen or that you're going to miss out on something. Or if you're listening to an awesome podcast like 99% Invisible, you don't want to let Roman Mars down. Who does? So you don't let me down. That's the deal. You fall asleep whenever you want. I'll be here the whole time. And if you can't fall asleep, I'll be giving it my all. So I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you stopping by. And I really hope to help you fall asleep. All right, everybody, it is time to talk about sleep phones, the most comfortable way to listen to Sleep With Me. They're little speakers or earbuds. They don't have earbuds poking you in your ears. They're these flat felt things in a soft, stretchy headband. So comfortable, way more comfortable than I am at describing their comfort. And you could get one with the Sleep With Me logo, Sleep With My Boyfriend, tons of other cool things. Sleep With Me branded sleep phones. The only place you can get them is by using our link. You have to use this link, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones. And then if you use Sleep With Me at checkout, you'll get $5 off your order. So you'll support the show and you'll be listening to it in comfort. They have 3 different versions or 4 different versions now, one with corded and a bunch of wireless versions. So anyway, you listen to Sleep With Me. I also use it for running, on planes, hotel rooms. Unbelievably comfortable. Sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones and use our promo code Sleep With Me at checkout for $5 off. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so hey, everybody, it's Trending Twitter Tuesday here. I say test. That's like a live test. I just headphones are sounding a little strange, but I think everything's okay. I gotta make sure I use my lulling, soothing tones here. The Olympics are coming up, and then I'll be honest, I just looked on Twitter and Reddit, and I couldn't find, they were just a little too, it wasn't neither of what was coming up was working. I said, oh boy. And then so I sat for a minute and I was thinking, what should I use? And I said, oh boy. Like, and I also was feeling a little procrastinate. Like part of me was like, well, let me put this off here. I don't know if I feel like recording, or maybe I think I did. I think I just didn't feel like doing, I don't know. But so, and then I said, okay. But then I was thinking, now I'm not going to be able to share this because there's a privacy issue here, but I was thinking of Venmo has like this, it has like the global feed. So I was like, oh, wait. And I'd been thinking about Venmo for a while. And I don't know, I don't know if there's any angel investors that would cut me in on this. And I don't want to ruin a good thing, but, I can't keep these ideas in, I might as well, and I can't, I don't, but I think like they should turn Venmo into, like, they should have Venmo dating. And maybe I'm the only one that thinks that, because but I think, man, like, I'd like to, I don't know. I guess like maybe people would get that. And for people that don't use Venmo, it's kind of like it's just a way to give money to people. Kind of like PayPal, but like a little bit more seamless and easy. Not to criticize anything else. It's just a real easy way. If you're eating with people and you say, well, geez, let me just or I sold something on Craigslist, or people do, support the show that way. But but anyway, it's, so I was thinking, but that was my opinion. I said, geez, like, and maybe it could be, I said, well, maybe, I said, is there a podcast story in there? Is that just an idea, like, Venmo dating? And they say, okay, that sounds boring. And I said, listen, I can almost bet you there's tons of people getting dates on Venmo. I guess I'll put that out there. Usually we don't have an interactive show because people might be asleep. But if anybody's been asked on a date via Venmo, I'm sure that's happened. Gone on a date or met someone. Let's share that. Like, let's get that going. Let's give them something to talk about. Also, if anyone wants to test this Venmo dating idea out, for sure, let me know, because, or if anyone wants to run with it and then pay me, I don't want to be I don't need to be a CCO or CFO or whatever. You could just, I could just be one of the people that gets it on the sly. 33% would be perfect, or more, or more of the not of the liability, just the profits. But I guess if it was a dating app, it would start, like, you'd say, well, where would you start, Scoots? Like, how would you make Venmo? And he says, is this a sponsor? I said, no. So please, I said, can I say a business's name? Maybe it's very good to say too, because it's but maybe I shouldn't say it too much because it'll get me, I don't want to get in any trouble. This is just fun. But I was thinking, that where I would start is art supplies. Like maybe we do like a real life, so you say, well, what should we retitle it? And I'd say no, because then it's like, it's the dating app that's not a dating app. Venmo, there you go, boom. Like, I said your name again because I just gave you, that's $1 billion right there. And then you say, well, okay, we'll, we got to rebrand it because they said that we had to, the consultants. And I say, well, didn't we get this far without any consultants? I have art supplies and I'm going to do a real world, like this could actually work. And to be honest, at least for a sleep podcast, I mean, the Bay Area would be the place to do it. We'll set up, and maybe we could get a sponsor, like one of the ride sharing places or something, or some sort of, like we're contacting people immediately in a part of San Francisco. As soon as they're posting, they say, well, thanks for like they do a party hat emoji, blank paid blank party hat emoji. And you'd say, we could say, hey, come down to, Club Nouveau. That's probably where I'd do it. I don't know if that exists, but it would give me context to check out a place, especially if, I guess they don't call them that, but like a check out a place like that. And if I have context, then I feel way more comfortable than if I just go into a place without any context. I got to be myself and deal with people. Like this gives me a way to interact with other humans without being human, without having to be a human myself, I guess. So I'd have my art supplies. You'd say, okay, the consultant wants to change the name. And we could say, Valmo. No, because you say, let's see, luckily Valentine's Day starts with a V. Venmo, Datemo. How about that? There you go. It's over. Datemo. You say, that's so lame, it might be good. I said, yeah, I'd say, if it was me, I'd just keep it Venmo dating or Venmo dates. But I say, Datemo, there you go. Okay, we're up to 2 billion. Did we have $1 billion idea or was that the $1 billion idea? I forgot already. Hopefully my future attorneys are listening to this that will defend us against this defamation. But anyway, Datemo, we'll call it. There you go. And that way we can use the rhythm of the title for the rest of the episode without overusing the company's name. So I'd use my art supplies. I'd put it up. And I'm sure someone would come in and they'd say, what are you doing? Are you collecting campaign donations? Good luck out there, buddy. And I'd say, no. This is Datemo, the financial dating application. And then the person might be nice, and they'd sit down, and they'd say, well, why are you doing this? I'd say, for more money, more money, and I'd like to date. You want to date Mo? You want to date? And they say Mo. I'd say, come on, you know what it means. So date Mo. Date more, that doesn't work. And it's owned by a company that also ends in Mo. And actually it's just a secret add-on, like In-N-Out Burger, within the app. It's not the infrastructure was already there. It's just an opt-in. And they'd say, really, you're blowing my mind. And I'd say, well, that's what I do. Rarely, actually. This is probably, other than the Goonies musical, that my brother shared at a conference, so everyone stole it. And it was also common sense to make a Goonies musical. This, I think, is my second. I think my idea might be better than the Goonies musical as far as me getting more money out of a Datemo. And you say, okay, well, tell me more about how it works. And I said, well, okay, so you have a thing that's for financial transactions. So I can see a look on your face. Yes, there's a danger of, so I don't know what we do about that. Why, we would have to figure out how to not make it for paid dates, because we don't want exploitative. We're not here for exploitation. We're here for Datemo. So we would have to figure that out, because as is an issue with any dating platform. And, depending on your dateability, like the reason I need Datemo is because, I need, I have shy mo. I'm too shy. I guess I need shy less because I guess that doesn't work. I need to be less shy. And, I tend to like psychic. I have a psychic power where I get if it was born with it, turns out. But yeah, so I'm just shy. So I need it but I figured, and I also want to be mega rich. I don't think this would be the kind of thing Muskie would be involved in. But maybe then again, who knows? Because we could, I guess we could expand the empire after Datemo. Well, yeah, so I do see the fact, and then, people started to gather around and get in line. They said, is this where I sign up for Datemo? And I said, this is where you sign up for the Datemo beta program. Yeah, for sure. But actually, if we were launching, we would already had like them bringing people that were sharing it. So actually, we could just start it like that, where it's just a giant party of people using it. But then I guess that would just the people that already had more dates, they would keep getting more dates if it was just like a regular. So we'd have to level the playing field. And then someone said, well, why would you want to level the playing field? And I said, isn't that like the purpose of dating apps? Not, I guess like, or is it not? I don't know. I don't know the proper usage of them. I guess it would be like Datemo would also be Date Now. Like, I guess that maybe that was it. Like, I guess you got to get rid of the crassness though. So you have to have a full on crass ban. But that would be like, hey, I just saw you bought a cookie. Like, would you like to date Mo? Datemoi. There you go. We could like, this could be like a play on words. That could be the question you pop instead of, sliding to you say Datemoi. And then that person left. I said, well, you won't be invested. I said, this is okay, $2 billion split 100% of the way is $2 billion. Goodbye. I said, you're right. We could almost hire a moderator. I said, well, there's no money. We don't have financial, but we could have we could call them like a cleanup, or something. I guess you could do it like you just buy people drinks, but then that again gets into this money thing, and that reeks of exploitation, which I don't want. I want this to be fun. And then I guess, we couldn't get Airbnb involved for the same reason, because you say, okay, date moi, Airbnb moi. No, okay. Wait, yeah, I think maybe they could be hidden, buried even deeper in the app, and they it has to be like a lock-in. You both say Airbnb moi. And then, okay. And this is good that I'm having this beta test here. I'm testing ideas. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. But yeah, we do have a lot of hurdles to overcome. Like, okay, first, so we'll put the worry about the monetization to the side and say, well, it's just, what could we, maybe we'll do the old, what do they call that when you buy a company for their talent? Okay, we don't have any money to purchase any companies. They realize that, but intellectual acquirement or whatever. We say, well, what ideas did they use? Because they think, aren't all these companies owned by one company anyway? Isn't it like an illusion of, it's not even an illusion of choice. It's just they're segmenting the industry, I believe. But I don't know. I think we would be rebellious in this. We'd be blowing the doors off of it. And it'd be a secret buried feature here, Datemo. But yeah, we'd look like we'd be like the great, we'd be like, I don't know, maybe we need to like do it like everywhere. Yeah, have free food and drinks, like a barbecue. We could do a barbecue pit day. And again, everyone that's in the region, that's like it could almost be like, I guess this has been tried too, but it's like Datemo, it could be Datemoi, ? That's their first reach out. And then you go, okay, well, the barbecue party's here today. And maybe we should we gamify? We're losing focus already. Like this could just be like that could be the button. Like once you activate it, you say, well, that person like say, that person bought Foot Bomb 2. They paid another person to buy Foot Bomb. That's a Datemoi. No, you don't think that would work? I think it's funny. I think it would be like, oh, you don't think it would work? Okay, well, this isn't a. Thank you for your opinion. I think that's great. It's like rainbow and like praying for rainbow and stars. Like could we give awards like that? We could gamify people. Like rainbow stars. You could get like. How would you win that? Like, what about, what's you? So moi is me. What is them? Like, So you could also like drag and drop. So you see, oh, that person likes foot bomb, and I know a person that likes foot bomb. You say, Datemoi. This is date. It should be. It has to go with the Datemo, Datemoi, date. And this would make easy. I mean, this is going to make date paying for. I mean, it's already. You say, oh no, I'll Venmo you. You go out for pizza. You can split the plate, but which you should pay, but you can split the price of the pizza. I mean, this is a whale of an idea, I think, with car sharing and late nights. But you're right, we don't have much. We have Datemoi and Datemo. We have the existing infrastructure, which I think already is perfect. We could have the secret layers, but yeah, we don't have much else. You're right. That's why it's maybe it's a before beta test with whatever that is, an omega test, is it? Or is it an alpha? It's, it's blue sky. We're blue sky, Datemo, blue sky edition. Like, we need visions of everything that would work with this. I think, but I think we pretty much have it. If it's location aware, that's going to be helpful. And then you say, Datemoi, I'll be over here. But I guess if we don't have any funding, we really can't throw free parties for people unless we have partners. So there you go. We could have partners. So we could say, well, Club Nouveau, if you want, if you want to, take the shine off of your newness, you'll give us 3 hours. I don't know. They might say, well, they say, well, you're not so hot anymore, And they say, well, to get out of my club. And I say, sorry, this is just, I brought my own art supplies here. Look at how many people are coloring. I brought the relaxation coloring books. Well, actually, they're just, I took them from a restaurant next door, but don't tell them, please. You could have sunglasses. You could have num-nums. A little. We could partner, with different bakeries to do their wares. But maybe we could gamify that. This is one thing I've always wanted to do. Before the podcast, I said if I ever do anything live, we will have. I'd love to do some sort of live show where at some point we have like pizza offs where you get 2 companies' pizza and then you eat them. And everybody gets to vote and say, is that, and then you get the free pizzas because it'd be advertising for the companies. So we could do that for like little bakeries. And then maybe people we could encourage people to share about it. If it was really fun and not cool, it'd be cool. If it was fun and people wouldn't have to, they'd be getting free, what are those called? Mademoiselles? What are those things you eat called? I was thinking Madeleines, but I was picturing the other ones, the ones that are puffy with the thing in the middle. And I can't remember what those are called, but they have a name. Like those. What does this have to do with dating? Good question. Are you on my board of directors? Well, you might be, if you're willing to do it, pro bono. I'm looking for pro bono directors. We have majority stake in the original company that I want to take over. Yeah, I would need groceries. You're right. I would have to get some groceries for this. So maybe I should go and get some groceries now. Well, I could just order let's just order some of those. Let's get some Madeleines and some frosting. Okay, I ordered those. Those should be money owed. Yes. What do you think about getting a Datemo ice sculpture that says Datemo? Do you think that would be a good investment? No. Okay. Well, that's it. I mean, the best part about doing it at these clubs, if the club owner can't hear me right now, is that we don't pay any rent. We could just be a roving, Datemoi. Okay. Again, we should reassess. You're right. Internal, CEO. I didn't realize I had one. Okay, so what are our assets so far? The same as like 10 minutes ago. Datemoi, Datemo. The list of people shared, people are already joking on there, but then there's other stuff. But then you have all the hassles of a social network. So it has to be a secret opt-in. A privacy issue? Well, it's opt-in. You have no privacy, I'd say. Undergrad, like it'd be a secret feature, so it wouldn't even be called. We just keep the original name, Datemo. One word, Datemo, not Datemo, Datemo. Datemoi, and Datemoi, and Datemo. There you go. That's the billboard. It's secret though. You're right. That'd be pretty good though. If it's Datemoi and Datemo. I mean, I think we could do something like dancing postcards. What do you think about that? You don't think dancing postcards is a good marketing thing? We could see if Frank will carry a sign around. Instead of a billboard, we could just have Frank C. carry a sign. I saw him the other day. I was going to ask him for his quote for a Sleep With Me sign, but then I was like, I can't handle trying to get a sign made. That's too emotionally taxing. But for this business, you could just have Datemoi pointing to Frank on Datemo. I wonder if he probably takes that. He probably takes payment that way. We could do some painting next instead of coloring here with my art supplies. Let's try to paint up some signs. Let's work on some marketing for this idea that I have. Oh, you think we should do a bourbon tasting? Is that still in? I mean, I couldn't do it, but I could run it. I mean, I could definitely do the announcing. You don't think I should be involved in the public face of Datemo? What about Datemo? Could I still use Datemoi? But you say bourbon tasting. You think that would get people out? That would be a good. I think that's a great idea. What's your name? Oh, you're part of me. Okay. You're the art supply part of me. Well, it's a great idea. Art supply part of me. Yeah, we could get free sponsors to do that. I think you're onto something there. Air conditioning. Do you think we should have, because it's a little bit warm in here, should we relocate to somewhere else? Well, yes. What about a pot? I don't know if we should get into that. Like if people are going to be like you're talking about, like a dispensary tasting for a pod. I mean, they could be, once we hit it really big and we segment the audience, I think that would be, is that what it's called? Segmenting the audience? User base. They're called a user base. User base. I think that's going to backfire. To be honest, this is my baby, They're the mois. They're not a user base. Oh, they're a potential user base. Well, no. In my opinion, they're the mois. The Datemois. That would be a small user base. You're not you're in my brain too. Well, you're no longer in my board of directors. I'm sorry. What? Another great asset in Bay Area, here's Korean barbecue. And that could be another witty way to just have like a special pop-up, like a barbecue with moi. So you could say K barbecue with moi. That's a little long. You're right. But that would be a good, if you're apping and you say you want, like, if you go into the party, you just get assigned a seat at one of the barbecues, and then we have, paired, like, we could pair people up that way, and then they're barbecuing together. Oh, yeah, and we'd have, meet and it would be friendly for all. Datemoi for all. However you say all. In French, or in just short, like Datemo. But yeah, you could have, like beer party horns. That would be Datemo on a party horn for sure. As long as the party horn is like, and yeah, this would be, I guess, symbolic, but it has streamers that come out of it or something. Or like those exploding party thing. Well, not exploding, but the party poppers and drinks. You're right. I think we could give, like, what if we gave people discounts? Like we hooked up with like Like they get a discount on their rent for dating. You can offer discounts. No, not for dating moi. For using Datemo. Datemoi. You're not buying it. Yeah, we could do like different, like brew houses, like those places we could host at. And again, maybe we just do it like I guess you're right. It wouldn't be, we want to do it the prime hours and not the off hours. So I don't know how we figure out, because I'm not good at it with people. That's why this whole idea came about. Oh, so maybe I should, maybe I should discover that, what do you call that? Assets and liabilities. So maybe my liability is an asset. So I should still focus on what about that can I use to make Datemo better? Well, I guess yeah, you're right. Because, you also have the limit of emoticons. Like, what does one person dancing mean versus three people dancing? And if they're in like a flamenco dancing thing, does that mean like salsa dance lessons? Or does that mean like we were at a party? Or what? I'm losing focus. So, of course I'm losing focus. I'm like a storm cloud blowing through the air. But this will be a legacy project, for the good of all people. Datemo will be the app that broke dating wide open. There's the headline, with the clickbait. The date app that broke online dating wide open. Or something. And they say, it sounds like it's going to break the parent company. Well, geez, I'm just, this is a revenue stream without with potential revenue, user base. Didn't you use that word? And I said, moi base, or what did I call the users? Datemois. If we could get, as many people on board, like start with 100 people. And then they say, have you tested this Datemo out? Just word of mouth. I think we just do it by word of mouth and billboards and Frank carrying around a sign. You could also earn, like if we gamify it, you could use, free spa services, free, what do you call that when you get your hair cut? What do you call that? Salon. You'd say, oh, like maybe, I don't know how we do that, but we could use it to drive business to businesses. Like, what about that? What about a salon dating app, a waiting in salon dating? What do you think about that? No. Okay. Well, yeah, people are getting their hair done. You're right. I don't think, I don't even like the person that's cutting my hair talking to me. You're correct. I guess so. It just makes me awkward. We could spread. What do you think about? Maybe this won't work in the U.S. Are there other countries across the world? France, Spain, Brazil, Eastern Europe, like Italy. Any countries you think this would work in better? Not France. Okay, well that's probably. I don't know. Don't you think it would be funny? Datemoi. Why do I say it so sadly? That's what I'm thinking. When there's a button, that's the sound it would make in my head when you press the button. Datemoi. I don't know. I think it would be cool if it was like encourage like local eating and local drinking, local dating. Clearly, I don't know. It's a blue sky. So where would we go next? Well, I guess maybe we rent out a building. Datemoi HQ. Maybe we do that what about a kissing booth? That's offensive. Oh, what's offensive about a kissing booth? Everything. What about if it's like some sort of, like a Hershey kissing booth? Like we give out Hershey kisses and then they pay us millions of dollars to do that. Why would they? Well, because they think it's funny. So a kissing booth. Here's your Hershey. That would get old fast. Well, not if people like the eating those. Hey, everybody. It might sound a little bit different because I was asked to leave after that kissing booth idea. A couple things happened. I just stopped recording. Well, that's not true. The batteries flew out of my recorder. But yeah, I was asked to leave the club, and I have people in pursuit of they said, we're going to get you and your IP. And they said, well, it's not technically my IP. I'm doing like this is a piggyback. I'm a piggyback investor. I think this was where I shouldn't have stopped. I should have kept going. Because they said, you're a piggy bank investor. And I said, no, I'm a piggy bank investor. Datemo. I said, have you heard about were you at the meetup, the Datemoi meetup? They said it was more of an art. We were doing art, and they said, well, come with us. So let us buy you dinner. So they bought me dinner. That was so boring. I had to skip it. I think they thought I was somebody else, to be honest. Or else they thought I was like or they thought like I was a dinner theater. Maybe that was it. There was a dinner theater going on nearby. And I think it was one of those like ones where you get I'll be honest. I didn't know this, but they thought like somebody had got sick and gone home. And at this dinner theater, you get two sets of cards, like a descriptive card, sad and desperate. That was what my character was. And then someone famous. And mine was sad and desperate Elon Musk. And they said, you're nothing like Elon Musk except for, you have, you have, if eccentricity is sad and desperate. But I said, thanks for dinner. They said, do you think you want to do any piggyback investing on me with Datemo? I said, if money has wings, you could give it to me. And they said, well, we paid for your dinner. I said, well, okay, shalom. Thank you very much. And then, of course, we circled back. They said, well, what would Datemo be good for? And I said, well, one, it would quell my curiosity. I said, because I think it's the perfect. And then they said, and you would get Mo. And I said, correct. But this isn't about me. It's about opportunity. Walking out the door. When I walk out the door, ladies and gentlemen, I'll walk right out the door, walk right out. These boots are made for walking, and that's what they'll do is walk right out on you with this opportunity. They said, it is a good, and they said, I don't know. They said, by the way, what was that? Was that snails or gnocchi I was eating for dinner? Because I was curious about that. And then I heard they were going to this new place called Cookie with an extra O. And they said, whoa, that sounds delicious. It's a cookie shop with an extra O. I said, actually, I've been looking for boutique bakeries to pair with for a Datemoi. Money to build, like the infrastructure, like I said, for rent. So I said, I'd love to go there. And they said, well, unfortunately, they said, you could go to the corner store there and get a popsicle and you'll be just fine. And I said, nothing like a sunny day and a popsicle. I can't have, other things on a sunny day. So like wine or beer. So I just said, and I shouldn't have popsicles either, as a matter of fact, gentlemen. I think I spent the first third of my life with either a Kool-Aid or popsicle stain on me in the summertime with no shirt on, with a, orange, it was, unidentified. I said, is that a popsicle stain or a Kool-Aid stain on your chest there? And then the priest was, please, if you come to this church, could you please wear a shirt? And I said, well, I said, it's summertime. And they said, and you are going to be the brains behind. And I said, no, I'm not the brains, but believe me, I know my organizational dysfunction. Climbing's not my thing. Organizing, team building, team leading. A team, if you want to test a team, put me on it, and then team fracturing. I've got that down. Fracturing teams, avoiding teammates, if there's any team-based non-eye contact conflict avoidance, if you want to team up on that, I got that down. Holy moly. But this isn't about me. It's about, the burn of not having enough dates, of competition in existing infrastructure we can piggyback on. Last chance, because these boots are walking out the door to go, I guess, to go get a popsicle, not a cookie with an extra O. And and then someone from across the room said, tell me more. And I said, oh boy, I said, is that active listening I hear? And they said, it is. Come on over. Were you just talking about a dating app, a piggyback? And I said, are you restating are you rephrasing what I was stating? And then the person clapped their hands, and then they said, well, in your case, I'm probably phrasing it. And I said, if we were on a team, you could pre-phrase for me. And then we had a laugh about that. And I said, this person is probably, full of madness, because I said, I better get out of here. But they said, so this is the kind of thing you want to avoid on your dating thing. I said, Datemoi, or I said, Datemo. I said, but we'll call it Datemoi, or both. They said, you want to avoid the for a good time vibe, though. Yeah, the vibe, right? Did you say vibe, or did I post phrase you? I said, yeah. I said, that's the problem with these apps. I said, no sleaze, no exploitation. It doesn't have to be a sprint, but, obviously, dates for moi. That would be what everybody says. Well, why do you use it? Well, it's convenient. And I'm already using it, to split stuff with people. And I say, holy cow, that person's a great friend. And they split, they had to split a ride sharing thing. And then the person said, so it gives you a context for communication. I said, yeah, like a real context, a real world context. You got it. RWCT, real world context. And this person said, context is one word. I said, you're not Chris Sacca, are you? The guy that's always on podcasts? Is that an angel investor? And then the person just looked at me, and then they laughed. And I said, and then 3 people walked in with Monopoly top hats. And I said, that's strange. And they said, no, it's not. There's a magic show later. I said, really? I love magic. Let me just shoot you $5. Did you know about any magic emojis? I said, there's a second revenue source, Chris, emoji packs. Is that what you call them, emoji packs? Do you listen to my podcast? Because about 100 episodes or so ago, I pitched... I think I'm good in emoji speculation. I speculate like what the next phase of emojis. I said, stick with me here. Like what happens when, once people get tired of foxes with hearts in their eyes, and other cute creatures, what'll be next? And will it be on Datemoi? It will be. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that for sure. And we could have people giving us donations. We'll need someone for logo design. And we'll need plenty of pizza emojis, regular pizza and pizza emojis. I say, what do you think about dedicating a whole team to pizza emojis? And the person, they were considering it. And then he said, this is the brains behind my operation. And this woman stepped forward. And she said, a whole team on pizza emojis for a dating app. And I said, it's just crazy enough to work, I think, or, to try, isn't it? Don't you think? And they said, well, what level of pizza? I said, well, you can't tell me you're satisfied with the level of current pizza emoji levels. There's a deficit of pizza emoji levels and dates, people for getting dates from moi, not just the greater moi. This isn't this could be the next Chipotle. Is that up now, or is it, they knew they had a little patch there, but, because I think pizza is much different than a burrito emoji. I mean, come on now. And, this is like people, do people have to pay do you pay your water bill? Because I do. And once you pay your water bill, I think it changes your mindset. And I would see that right there. That would be give me, that's more than I've ever said on an online dating app. That might be. And they said, you would say that in a date. And I said, well, it'd be better than what I normally say. Which is, I think that with that, I don't quite know what to say here. I haven't filled out my profile. Well, I have 50 times and then deleted it. I said, I probably wrote enough, but none of them were good. The jokes, the dating profile jokes. Also, in my situation, I don't have, that's why that's why I'm thinking of integrating these platforms. Because it would be, for me, it would save a lot of time because I just don't have any time anyway. And they said, now you're talking sense. I said, to the pizza emojis and the integration of platforms, you liked that. Efficiency. I said, you investors, you like efficiency. I said, efficiency is like your microwave. Microwaves are efficient, kind of. I said, what about, I said, is pizza emoji already have some sort of secret, a subtextual message to it or not? Because we could come up with different pizza emojis. Or you could rate people with slices of pizza. I'd prefer not to be rated or to do any rating myself, though. So I don't know if I want to be associated with the app that rates people. I'm just trying to go with, since I had you both a pizza emoji. It sounds good, too. There's other emojis, peace sign, but then you say, well, where are you going to go with that? And they said, well, they were working a lot on their phone. So they said, okay, so am I in for, I would prefer to have enough shares that I have control. And I don't need, any awards or trophies or anything. I don't need to be in the front, and I don't need tickets to wherever city we're going to set. I said, could we have our headquarters in Chicago? I'd like to, and then I would probably need a G6 or G5 to commute. I said, we could call it the Emoji One, and they laughed at that. I said, that wasn't, I said, the Emoji One, and I could call you from there. This is Datemo. You could, that could be could I be codenamed Datemo? And they said, code name. And I said, yeah, code name Datemo. And then I knew, they said, they cracked up Dateless. And I said, yeah. I said, this is hilarious. I don't even know either one of you, and you're, making jokes at my expense. And they said, okay, well, let me give you one more piece of sane, while I'm somewhat lucid. I said, so we already, I said, because I had your attention there. I said, with these micro payments, I said, is there some way to use that to monetize the platform? And they said, do you know what you're talking about? I said, well, I do. I guess I always wonder, about these tiny, I said, if we can get enough users, you got to get it below, can you get it to microcents? Is that a thing yet? And they said, well, I said, well, we could figure out some way to make some, this might be the wrong word, but it's the only way I could think of, a date kitty, like a jar. And, we could take different, this week of the word, we could randomize it. So we take a micro payment of 1 cent, 5 cents, or 0.1 cent off of everybody's transaction if they're into the Datemoi. And then everybody that 1 month uses the pizza emoji from the pizza emoji double deluxe pack that we've sold, and uses the word water and bill, or next week it could be racquetball, and the pizza, something from the pizza emoji, or the next pack I'm still developing, the pack, the postmodern. I don't think this is postmodern, but, whatever post foxes with hearts in its eyes emoji pack that I have yet to invent. We could probably use more turtle emojis. Is anybody taking notes at this? No. Okay. And I said, so can I expect you to contact this? And they said, we've already contacted the parties involved. And I said, am I going to get froze out of this? And they said, no. We've contacted the parties involved with you. And I said, what do you mean? And then they said, no, we're just kidding. They said, it's a pretty good idea. They said, are you okay? Let us walk you. And then they said, let's go for a walk. We might need some fresh air. And I said, do you know a place where we could get a popsicle? And they said, are you sure are you sure you're not just then we got out, away from the restaurant, the three of us, this gentleman and this young woman and me. And they said, are you sure you're not just acting out with this idea? And I said, no, I think this is a decent idea. I said, maybe we could sell it to one of the competitors. Like, I said, I could be, and they said, wait a second, what did you say? And I said, I said, what about that? I said, because are you two are you corporate raiders or the new version of corporate raiders? And then they laughed. And I said, well, I'm not very good at evil plans. I guess I'm good at coming up with them. He said, so maybe this could just be a fantasy. And they said, I think it is. And then they said, okay, but go ahead and tell us more. And then I was like, are these? And then I said, oh, maybe someone's hired these people to help. But I said, okay. And they said, so you're not desperate. And I said, no, I think this is, but they said, tell us more about your idea. I said, well, the competitor could hire me to pitch this idea. And then I think maybe I would, unfortunately, collapse their platform. Either it would be successful, but it wouldn't make any money. Like tons of users, but, everybody just uses the platform. There's no way to monetize it. I said otherwise, or I could it'd be embarrassing once people found out that I was, Datemoi. Like if I was the spokesperson, and they said that would be embarrassing. I said, even though you're trying to be nice to me, you don't think this is good? Have you used that app before? I said, because as soon as you use it, I said, are you two in a relationship? And they said, we're in a marriage, a loving marriage. I said, with one another? And they said, yes. And I said, oh, and you work together. And they said, tonight we do. We're here, to help you, to make sure you, and I said, oh, okay, so you're working. This is your hobby, And they said, who do you know? Whom sent you? And then they said, don't worry. And I said, oh, the listeners probably sent you. And I said, or is this a dream? I said, did you hear the episode where I had a dream with Zach Galifianakis and I ate a muffin? I took a bite out of his chocolate chip muffin and left it in his office for a year. That's the kind of person I am, and just so you know. The kind of person that leaves muffins in offices. So I said, I don't think this is a terrible idea. I just don't see how to tie it up in a little bow, B-O-W. But I said, if I was a B-E-A-U using this app. And I said, what if I could get together with Tinder Live and could we start there? I said, this could be a decent podcast, Datemoi. And they said, you should start there. And I said, well, to be honest, I don't know if I have the wherewithal. I have 3 podcasts and a full-time job right now. And they said, well, you should think about it. And I said, I wouldn't even know who to email over there, Venmo. But I said, I think I would rather it would give me the giggles if it was like, if I went on, the online and I saw that Datemo. And they said, you're going to start a startup. No, I said, piggyback startup first off, or that was second off. Piggyback startup. Yeah, wouldn't you get the giggles if you saw that? Latest in dating, Datemoi. And then you're right that 6 months later, be like, okay, and their fortunes have turned. But anyway, yeah, thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for sending those 2 strangers. Don't worry. This isn't me it's just only acting out of my curiosity. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know. I guess sometimes I get intrigued with stuff and I can't stop thinking about it or talking about it. All right, good night. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Air Doctor. And you know it's the wintertime. We're going to be spending a lot of time indoors. Don't you want the air you're breathing, that your family is breathing all day long? Don't you want the best quality air possible? You know, whether it's stuff coming in from the outside or Koa, you know, she's scratching her fur, her dander, cooking, whatever's coming in through the heater vent. That's why I have the Air Doctor running 24/7. It brings me peace of mind. You got to check out Air Doctor. You breathe 20,000 breaths per day, and Air Doctor filters out dangerous contaminants so your lungs don't have to. Air Doctor uses an ultra HEPA filter that's been independently tested to remove 99.99% of tested bacteria and viruses, plus allergens like pollen, dust, and smoke. And in a recent independent study, the Air Doctor 3000 series was even tested and proven to remove 99.97% of live SARS-CoV-2 virus in a test chamber. And while no air purifier can prevent the transmission of COVID, it provides me and my family with added peace of mind knowing it's backed by science and rigorous third-party testing. The Air Doctor captures particles as small as 0.003 microns in size. That's 100 times smaller than the HEPA standard. It captures a wide range of pollutants, including odors, gases, and chemicals like formaldehyde. From stinky gym clothes to chemical cleaning products, Air Doctor is always on call to keep your air fresh and clean. And it's powerful. It's powerful enough to circulate the air in a 630 plus square foot room 4 times an hour. You know, I love my Air Doctor. It lets me breathe through my nose. It lets me breathe easy. I know I wake up feeling more refreshed than my daughter does, or whether I'm working from home or she's studying at home. Especially during the winter season, it's offering us an extra layer of protection. A professional quality HEPA air purifier is recommended by leading medical experts as an effective way to reduce airborne germs and viruses and protect your home. Make sure to get an Air Doctor to keep you and your family safe this winter. Air Doctor comes with a no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't love it, just send it back for a refund minus shipping. And just go to airdoctorpro.com and use the promo code SLEEP, and you'll receive a 35% discount on their classic Air Doctor 3000 purifier. That's right, 35% off, but only if you go to airdoctorpro.com and use that promo code SLEEP. Thanks, everybody. Hey, Boy Scoots, you know I have a mattress I love. It's from tonight's sponsor, Helix Sleep. I sleep in the Helix Dusk Luxe. It is so cozy. I love getting into bed every single night, and it's a perfect mattress for me because I took the Helix quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep and got matched with it. Helix Sleep has a quiz that just takes 2 minutes to complete, matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress you know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody's unique, and Helix knows that, so they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have soft, medium, and firm mattresses. Mattresses great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. Mattresses great for spinal alignment to prevent morning aches and pains. And even a Helix Plus mattress for plus-size sleepers. And I took the Helix quiz. I got matched with the Helix Dusk Luxe because I sleep on my side, I sleep on my stomach, I sleep hot. And it meets my needs perfectly. So take the quiz and find out what mattress is going to be perfect for you. If you're looking for a mattress, all you do is you take that quiz, helixsleep.com/sleep. You order the mattress you're matched to, and the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't ever need to go to the mattress store again. And Helix is awesome. You don't just have to take my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. Helix has been recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors. The sleep medicine is a go-to solution for improving sleep. And you just go to helixsleep.com/sleep. You take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that'll give you the best sleep of your life. They even have a 10-year warranty. You get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. Helix even has financing options and flexible payment plans. So a great night's sleep is never far away. And Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/sleep. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Good night, everybody.